And the Quilly Award goes to Mofalua Sho Ilebare, cracking the code to success.
Well, this is the award. It's right here with me in my room. And this is the book. So there you'll find me. That's me, that's Brian Tracy, and a lot of others when we wrote this book together. My name is Mofalua Ilebare. I'm a multi-award winning author, speaker, and coach. And most especially today, I want to talk to you about the power of visualizing your book. I get excited every time someone thinks of writing a book, because I believe that in each and every one of us, there are at least 1,000 books. So join me and let me share with you in a couple of minutes how you can visualize your book and bring it to reality, just like I did with this one. The room was dark, and as I walked through it, I saw this crowded image in the background. It seemed to have a head, and then it seemed to have 3 legs, like what I could see. And as I drew closer the image grew bigger and bigger, and it just seemed as if it was going to swallow me up. The next thing, I seemed to hear a soft voice whisper my name, Mofalua Sho. Did I grab your attention? I hope I did. And probably you were wondering, oh, so what's going to happen next? What was happening in that room? What was calling her name? It is the power of visualization, taking your readers on a journey as you write your book. But before you can bring that book to life, you need to experience it yourself. You need to go on a journey to convince yourself that this book will bless millions of people across the world. I know that many of the other speakers in this summit would have told you about how to write, when to write, what to write, and they would probably guide you into turning the thoughts in your head or the things that you're thinking about into the pages of a book. I remember the year was 2017, and I was cleaning up my room, just getting ready for the new year. You know how it is, out with the old, in with the new. As I gathered business cards that were scattered all around my room, in my bags, in my pockets, there were many things, many of those business cards around. I gathered them and I sat down and I started to separate them. I looked at each one of them and I knew that some of them I would never use, and some of them maybe I would call them up at some point in time. The ones I thought I would never use their services, I put them together in a bucket. And before I knew it, that bucket was full. I gathered the bucket. I was about throwing away the cards into the dustbin when it occurred to me that this is exactly how someone else is throwing away the business card that I shoved in their faces at those workshops, conferences, wherever I met them. The business cards I must have shoved in their faces, which they would never use. It got me thinking. I said, it's a new year, and I really want to make a difference and share my knowledge with the world. So what is a better way to network with people and communicate with them beyond just a business card? What is it that I need to do beyond a business card? And I said, okay, for every speaking engagement I get that year, that I would write a book. I would put the thoughts that I was going to share either in the keynote speech or in the workshop I would facilitate. I would put it in form of a book and give it to the audience after the program, so that many months, many years after the program, they have something they can always look back on. And I decided I would do that with maybe the first speaking engagement I would get, maybe the second. Would you imagine that I ended up writing 12 books that year, one for every year, one for every month, and one for every speaking engagement that I got. And there was a particular TEDx that I was meant to do in Ghana that for some reason it got cancelled and I couldn't make it, but I still ended up writing that book. How did I manage to write 12 books in 1 year in a way that I could bless people and at the same time I could also achieve my goals. I call it the power of visualization. And I'll show you a sample. So this is an example of a book I wrote, and this book was as a result of a workshop I had where we're talking about relationships, how to uplift your conversations in the bathroom, the bedroom, the family room, the boardroom, and the ballroom. Another book I wrote that year this is one of the most popular books I have, Uplift Your Productivity, 9 Strategies to Maximize Time and Optimize Your Life. And this was also a workshop I facilitated in Rome that same year. Another book I wrote that year is Stop Wishing, Start Doing. This one talks more about how to beat procrastination, and it takes you on a journey of the 5E methodology where I share with you how you can beat procrastination and focus on the things that you need to achieve. The last one I want to share with you is Smart Woman, Praying Wife. This was one I wrote the summer, not that year, but a little while later when I was thinking about how well I could pray for my husband. 18 books and counting are the books that I have written, and it all started from a thought. When I put my mind to it, I said, I'm going to make it happen. And I made it happen that year. So what are some of the steps that I took and which you can take when you think about writing your book in record time? To visualize simply means to paint a picture in your mind. To paint a picture of that book. Just think about it. Why do you want to write a book? Paint the picture in your mind. What would writing the book, how will it make you feel? Paint the picture in your mind. Who is the book for? And what problem do they have that you would like to solve? Paint the picture in your mind. And the moment you can begin to paint that picture in your mind, the next thing you need to do is grab a piece of paper and maybe use a journal to start writing down how you feel while writing that book. How you would feel if you ever became a bestseller and you got an award. How you would feel if you were able to solve a problem for someone. And how would the other person feel? If you can tweet about it, go ahead and tweet about it and use those 140 words to just talk about how you would feel and why you really want to write the book. The next thing you can do is you can also vision board that book. One of my own gimmicks to help me to write. Before I write a book, the first thing I do is to make a cover. I make a cover. And what that cover does is it helps the book to come alive to me. And when I begin to write, it makes more sense. Now, the cover I have at the beginning may not be the cover at the end or when the book is being published. But what the cover does for me is it helps me to visualize what the book would look like. So when you think about writing your book, what kind of book do you want to write? How many pages is it? Is it something as small as a few pages that people can read? What would the letters look like? What would the font look like? What are the colors that you would like to see when you look at your book on the shelf? I know if you ever walked into a library or you walked into a bookshop to buy a book, there are many factors that make you pick up a book on the shelf. What are the colors? Would you like it to be blue, red, yellow, green? What is the kind of visual that you would like to see in front of the book? If it's a book for women, do you want to put pictures of women? If it's a book about health, do you want to put fruits and vegetables or a picture that depicts the emotions? What is it that you want to write about? And how can you begin to paint a picture in your mind? So for some of you, having a cover is a great way to start to visualize that book. And a very great tool, simple tool you can use is canva.com. You can use Canva. I usually use Canva to create a book cover in no time. And once I have that book cover, I put it in front of me, and every morning I look at it and say, that book is coming out. That book is coming out. How else do I visualize my book? I think about the audience that I am sharing the book with. And I try to paint a picture of what their life would look like after they have read my book from cover to cover. Does it solve a problem for them? And do you find them already smiling? Are they happy? Do they feel relieved? Do they feel like it added value to them? Do they go on Twitter or they go on Instagram and they say, oh, Fofo just wrote a book and that book helped me to achieve XYZ? I paint a picture in my mind. Because the person who cannot think really cannot picture anything. You know, the Bible says, my people perish for lack of vision. When you take the time to think about the book you want to write, you paint a vision. And when you have a vision, your books last.
Welcome back to the 2017 Quilly Awards. Greg Roulette here, back on the red carpet with Mafalufa Shah, a Levery best-selling book, cracking the code to success. You're looking beautiful tonight, and you got a gorgeous award in your hand.
Thank you so
How you
much.
feeling tonight?
Oh, I feel awesome. It's a blessing. You know, when I think about where I could have been many years ago, I'm grateful to God to be alive today. So yeah, it's awesome to be here.
Well, we're grateful you're alive, and you're writing books, and you're helping people, and that's why we're here tonight. Your book, right? What did you write about in the book? What was the message you wanted to share with folks?
Yeah, thank you. So my message was to successful working women, you know, because I know that being a working mom has its challenges. And this was about 10 horrible mistakes that successful working moms avoid. And all I wanted to do was just to share with moms that you can have both professional success and personal success without jeopardizing your family and, you know, just yourself.
I love it. And if there's a working mom watching right now, what do you want to tell that working mom?
Oh, absolutely. I want to tell you that you can be unstoppable at work and life, period.
You can be unstoppable. You're unstoppable
Absolutely.
right now. You got the best-selling book. You're helping all these folks. What's next? What do you want to accomplish now? What are you up to?
Oh, I'm hoping that with this book I can reach a bigger audience, and especially I want to work with women who are juggling different things in life and just help them to see, you know what, if you have a dream, go for it. Now is the time to start.
Well, they need help. They need role models like you.
Absolutely.
The book's a great start. Look lovely. Enjoy the rest of your night tonight.
Thank you so much. It was so
Congratulations.
nice.
They say if you can think it, you can have it. But I think if you can visualize it, you can materialize it. That's a quote by someone. If you can visualize it, you can materialize it. That means if you can paint a picture in your mind and put that end goal in mind, it's easier for you to bring that book to fruition. One of the ways or 3 strategies that I use to help me to accomplish a book and visualize it is, number 1, creating that image of what the cover would look like. Be very clear on what the cover would look like. Now, that cover may not be the final cover because you will still get expert opinion. But you can use a simple tool as canva.com to create a book cover. What would you like the book to look like? Who would you like that book to bless? Who is the book for and why are you writing it? If you can visualize these aspects and put it together in form of a cover, it could stimulate your writing. The second thing you can do with the power of visualization is to put a goal in mind. You know, Stephen Covey said, you start with the end in mind. So one of the ways I do it is by visualizing myself already in front of that audience, already either receiving an award or sharing the thoughts in that book with them and seeing them get results. Like I visualize people who are hugging me and saying, oh, Fofo, thank you so much. Because of your book, I was able to do XYZ. Because of your book, it provided clarity for me in this. Because of your book, it helped me to do XYZ. When you think about the end in mind and your book in the hands of people, when you think about what it's doing for them in their lives, and you can put that in form of, paint that in form of a mental picture in your mind, it could help you to get better results or help you to fast track writing your book. The third strategy I would like to share when it comes to visualization is to create thinking time. Many times we're too busy doing so many things that we don't even spend the time to daydream anymore. Visualization, someone said, is daydreaming with purpose. It's like you're not just daydreaming because you want to daydream. Like you take yourself literally on a journey, but with a purpose in mind. Your purpose is to have those 10,000 words written out. Visualize yourself writing out those 10,000 words. Visualize yourself waking up in the morning and saying, I'm going to make it happen today. 2 pages every day, I would write it. Find an accountability partner and ask them to question you every day and say, hey, you said you would write this. How did it go? And visualize yourself telling them, oh, you know, I was able to do XYZ. I wrote 500 words today. I wrote 10,000 words tomorrow. And before you know it, you already have that book powerfully in your hands. What are your favorite colors? Put that book cover with those favorite colors and paste it up on your wall. I usually prepare my book covers first, and I just place them beside my bedside. I take a screenshot from Canva and I put it on my phone. And even when I feel like I have a writer's block, I'm telling myself, this book is coming out. Oh, because of the joy of people who will read this book, it is coming out. Another way to visualize and make sure that your book comes out on time is to link it with an important milestone in your life. So I usually link mine with either a birthday, a celebration, a workshop, someone else's birthday. I hinge it with something. And the joy of them feeling, oh, so wonderful. You wrote that book and you met that goal and achieved it. Visualization is a very powerful tool. And God has given us a mind that can imagine things. If you just sat down 5 minutes every day, you close your eyes and you think about the pages of that book. You create an atmosphere. Where's the best place where you can think properly without any blocks, without any distraction? If you can put that to practice, I assure you in no time, you will get your book done. When you think about the power of mind mapping, when you think about the power of speaking your book, being able to paint that picture of that book in your mind, being able to paint the healing process that people will go through because you shared your story, being able to think about that woman who has never been pregnant before, and for some reason she carries you in her hands throughout the time of her pregnancy because you wrote that book. Think about the many mentors that you've had today, all because you read the pages of their book. And think about how many mentees you could mentor all across the world, right from your room, all because you picked up a pen. When I look back at 3 years ago when I started writing, my intent was not to go beyond a single room or a workshop. But my books are in many places across the world that I may never get to. I get messages and emails from people who say how my book has helped them. It makes me want to keep writing because at the end of the day, everyone has a story to share. My people perish for lack of vision. I pray that your vision will expand, and as it expands, you will put your hand to paper and write. My name is Mofoluwa. If you're looking for tools on how to help you to write better, please feel free to go to my website, www.mofoluwasho.com. I'm also currently writing a memoir, the first 40 years of my life, and I'm sharing so many stories, including how I wrote 18 books in 3 years. If you want to read that as well, go ahead and join my book launch tribe. You'll find the details on my website. Until I see your book, be unstoppable and don't stop writing, because everyone has a story. And there is somebody out there who will not change their story, who will not change their lives until they have read your book. Visualize the power that you could have across the continents of the world, and how you can bring healing to people, how you can bring clarity to people, how you can help that person take care of that imposter syndrome and do the best they can with what they've got. Write your book, and I look forward to seeing you share it with me, even on social media.